Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Tools Friday series with FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY. On today's series, we'll be talking about penetration testing tool, which cybersecurity professionals and bug bounty researchers alike can use in performing their various penetration testing activities, and of course, find vulnerabilities that might exist in the specific target which they are pen testing. So as the normal routine every week before we get started, I would like to know how you're doing. How is your job hunting going so far? For those who have gone for interviews, how has it been so far? Have you been doing so well? And of course, have you been getting those calls back to inform you that you've gotten the position? So if you have, I'm happy for you and congratulations. And for those who are still looking for jobs, who are still seeking for that position, it's okay. Do not quit. Do not give up on yourself. Just keep trying and check out where you have made mistakes, okay? Because one of the things we always do as humans is that we can be prepared or over-prepared, that we are so excited or overconfident, and we lose sight of what is important, which is mannerism, composure, how you interact with these interviewers or HR personnel who are hiring for these positions, okay? So these are one of the short challenges you would face that might not lead to that second call back or ever been contacted by the organization, even though you're excited to work for them or work with them. So if you've not been getting those calls back, do not be disappointed. Do not quit on yourself. I tell you the truth, when life is getting tough and tougher, it's a sign that you're making progress, okay? So if you quit on yourself at that stage, it's going to be you going back to square one and starting all over again. And it's not a good way, because honestly, you might not know how close you are to the finish line until you have quit on yourself and still experience the same difficulties like when you initially started. So my candid advice for you and to you is that no matter how challenging it might be, it's hard, I know, but don't quit on yourself. Don't stop hunting for those jobs. Don't stop sending those resumes. Go extra miles, call the company back, because sometimes they might also be busy, that they might forget that they were supposed to reach out to you. Yeah, it happens. Just like me, sometimes I have other things that I have to deal with, right? In as much as I have my journals and I have my schedules all planned out, sometimes I might lose sight of a few things, and it's only through a WhatsApp message or through a call from the person itself that I would tend to like, okay, I remember we have this together earlier today. So sending that application is not enough. Keep putting pressures on them in a very good way, not in a negative way, okay? Because like I always say, you're not to be entitled to help from people, okay? Nobody owes you anything, not me, not you, not the world. But if you really want to get something out of it, you have to put in the effort, okay? And the most important thing, like I said, is your mannerism. It's important a lot, especially when you're dealing in the corporate environment. It's always good to, have some etiquettes, okay? Or ethics on how you communicate, on how you relay informations, using soft tones, soft words in your letters, in your follow back messages, and composure, okay? Be composed, be well organized. And I believe if you do all this, you definitely would have an offer soon, okay? So with that being said, let's get started with this week's episode of the Tools Friday series with FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY. On our Tools Friday series today, we'll be talking about the Raccoon Tool. So what is the Raccoon Tool? The Raccoon Tool is a simplified recon tool that has the potential and power to obtain information about a specific target. These informations include DNS records, whois informations, and of course detecting WAF, which is the web application firewall, if present in that specific target that you are using this tool to test. Furthermore, you can use the Raccoon tool to obtain TLS data of a specific target or web application. TLS data, as we all know, it's a record that serves as a cryptographic mechanism to encrypt data that transfers across the internet. So in certain cases, organizations are always known to use weak cryptographic mechanisms or cryptographic security features that has been uncovered to be vulnerable to specific vulnerabilities. So with Raccoon tool, once these TLS records are obtained, Raccoon is able to tell you if that specific cryptographic encryption or TLS data is vulnerable to specific vulnerabilities which has been disclosed. One more thing that also makes the Raccoon tool very interesting is that it also does port scanning. So when you talk about port scanning, we're talking about various services that is running on a specific web server or web application. For example, you're familiar with the HTTP, right? On port 80, which is not secured. And we have the HTTPS, which also serves on port 443, a more secured protocol when compared to HTTP. Now you're familiar with these two protocols because they are basically used by web applications. What about other protocols and services that runs on various ports such as SSH, FTP, which is for the file transfer protocol? These ports are also part of the services that run on various web servers. So when you're testing a specific target or IP address, Raccoon is able to deduce if specific ports are open on that specific target, and of course list out those ports and the protocol that is using it. So for example, let's say Raccoon is able to detect a specific target running on port 80. It's going to tell you if the port is a TCP port or a UDP port. So with this information right now, you can now understand what that specific target is all about and further research on how to exploit vulnerabilities related to those ports that were uncovered by Raccoon tool. Also, Raccoon has the capabilities of running Nmap scripts. So Nmap scripts, as we all know, we use it to detect various vulnerabilities that exist in an operating system. So for example, in Windows, when a Windows operating system is vulnerable to, let's say, exploits such as Eternal Blue, right? Nmap is able to deduce this vulnerability by using the scripts that has been defaultly encoded in the Nmap tool. So Raccoon is also able to pull this script to scan that specific target to uncover if there is a specific vulnerability that exists in that target which you're using this tool to test. The last part about Raccoon is that you're also able to force those targets. So when you feed this domain, Raccoon is not only going to find the DNS records or uncover the TLS data, it also has the capabilities of forcing the URL paths. Now, when the forcing goes on, you should be more focused on status codes such as 200 OK, 403 forbidden, 404 not found, and so on. So why should you focus on this specific status code is that those status codes are promising to, further dig information that can be possibly exploited or uncover codes that are underlying or that are running on the background of that web server. Now, 301 are also important if Raccoon is able to, report a status code of 301. But it's very important that you can only consider 301s, which is the redirects, especially if that target is running API endpoints. Okay, that's one of the tricks, because when you are running API endpoints, it's always important to look at redirects and information to understand where or the link which this specific 301 status code is redirecting to. Okay. Also, to clone this tool, you can kindly follow the GitHub link which is present in this slide, and of course clone the repository using the git clone command as well. So the Raccoon tool is a very awesome tool. However, there's a lot of shortcomings regarding the documentation of installation of these tools, because the author of this tool, over the years, I think has not had time to maintain it, or not, more committed to the project. So at FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY, we made our time to research about this tool and of course resolve the problems that comes with installing this tool in a very simple and easy manner. So that we'll be showing you by heading on to our Kali Linux machine. So over here, we're on our Kali Linux box. Now, the first thing I would advise you to do is to cd to your desktop. Okay. Now, once you cd to your desktop, I want you to do something. You go to the website of the developer of the Raccoon Tool. Now, once you're there, you see this information here. I want to show you something. This information here is what we'll be using to install this tool later on. But in the meantime, we need to install the requirement.txt. So to do so, we just come here. We copy this code. We minimize our browser. We clear our screen. Then we say git clone. Then we paste the link. Okay. Then we hit enter. Good. Now we already have it here. So that's the reason why we're having this fatal error. So all we need to do is just to cd into the Raccoon, or alternatively, just to ensure that you follow the steps, we can remove it. So we can say sudo rm -rf raccoon. Okay, and we hit enter. Good. Now Raccoon is off, right? So we go back and we run the command again, the git clone, and we hit enter. Now we have the Raccoon on our desktop. The next thing you want to do is to cd into the directory of the Raccoon tool. Good. Now we're in the directory with ls. Okay. Now we want to bypass the protocol. Instead of using this GitHub clone to install this tool, which we might definitely experience some errors or encounter some errors, we only need this requirement.txt file. So what do? Usually I always use pip3, which means it's Python 3 for latest Python packages. And we say -r, sorry, we say pip3 install -r requirements txt, right? Good. Now, do you know the reason why we're having this error? It's because it's telling us to install this as a virtual environment. For us, we would advise you not to install this as a virtual environment. You know why? Because once you install this as a virtual environment, each time you want to run that specific tool, you have to call that virtual environment, which is also a hassle for you to be able to run your tool effectively without needing you to invoke the virtual environment. So what do we do to bypass this error? We come back here, we'll say -- break system, okay? And we say packages, okay? So override the system packages and install the requirement.txt of the Raccoon. Now we install. This is going to take some time, so just be patient while this is getting installed. Now, everything has been installed. Ignore this error, okay? The next thing we do is that we clear our screen. Now we go back to that repository. Remember this command we previously described. Okay, we come here, we copy this. Now you can see here it's pip3, which means it's Python 3 packages, right? Then we come back to our terminal, okay? So we come here, we paste this command, okay? Remember again, we have to break system packages, okay? And we hit enter. Now this is going to override the system packages and install the latest Raccoon tool for us. Now once this is done, we just clear screen and we can say Raccoon, okay, -- help. And as you can see, the tool has been successfully installed. Okay, now this is one trick about this tool. The information here in the help functions or options has some erroneous information. For example, like this, right? If you try using this -d comma, then specifying this DNS records, you would have errors, okay? So in the bid to solve this, we try to override the comments. And of course, we do not need the Raccoon directory anymore, which we cloned, okay? We can cd to our desktop for you to see. And we say sudo rm -rf raccoon. Sorry about that. Raccoon, and we hit enter. Good. Now, if we ls, we do not have Raccoon anymore, right? Good. Now, if we go back to our root directory or home directory, and we say Raccoon -- help. Okay. And we have our help functions, right? Okay. Now, back to what we were saying previously. If you follow these options to run this tool, you definitely have some errors, like the documentation rightfully stated here, right? So in the bid to tweak this, we came to resolve a few things. So let's say, for example, we want to target a domain like Facebook, and we want to get the A records, the MX records, the CNAME, and so on, right? So all I just need to do is say Raccoon -d, then I say A records, comma, MX record, comma, CNAME, comma, then space, then I say facebook.com, and I hit enter. Now Raccoon will start running its stuff to, retrieve information. Like here, it will tell you that it's writing the query results. Here, it's running the nmap scan. Did not detect WARF in the domain. And of course, subsequently, it will start scanning to retrieve information. And part of the information it's going to scan includes the fuzzing. Okay, so while it's scanning this target, it's still going to fuzz this target as well. So sometimes this would also take some time. You should give it some time to run its stuff. Okay. So by next week, we'll be having our last Tools Friday series for the year, so that we can plan against next year. Like we previously said, we had a lot of plans this year, but something came up. We had a personal project which took most of our time, and due to the limited resources we are working with, we're not able to, meet up with the courses. And to be on a safer side and to be on a safe zone, not to make such mistakes, we would be taking some weeks off towards the end of this year to strategize what we'll be doing next year. Like we also discussed in our previous videos, that we would be doing officially penetration testing related courses and training on our official YouTube. So this means we have to take our time to strategize and fulfill every other things we did not fulfill this year. Okay. And hopefully we would be able to meet up and of course, achieve the goals and dreams which we have promised to achieve by next year, including the ones we didn't do this year. Okay. So by next week, we'll be compiling a comprehensive list of how you can use these Raccoon tools and specific good comments. I promise you, these comments is what we would be working with here at FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY. So we'll be making it for you guys, and of course, distributing this on the Discord channel. So the Discord family will get this first. So if you're not on the Discord, I would strongly advise that you join the Discord channel and be a part of the Discord community and family, because from time to time, I'll be dropping some nuggets, even though that we would not be doing Tools Friday series after next week until New Year with a new plan we have. So not to miss out some ideas I'll be sharing. and things we would be planning towards the Discord community, I would advise you join by clicking the link. Either you visit our website right in front of our homepage, you go to the footer page, and of course, click any of the social icons that has the Discord icon on it to get the link for the Discord. Or alternatively, you can click the link in our bio on X, formerly known as Twitter, to see a list of our link trees. And from there, you can select the one that corresponds to Discord and of course, join the Discord community. Okay, so now you can see this is completed, and you can see we have a lot of fuzzing paths. We have a lot of 301 redirects. One more thing I need to tell you is that Raccoon also does docking. Okay, so if you're familiar with Google Docs, you should know that Google Docs is a way of also uncovering some sensitive information as well, right? So using Raccoon, you would definitely get informations about data that were put via Google Docking. And here you can see we have a lot of 301s, and sometimes these 301s are also good, especially if you're into API hacking. Okay, so do not neglect this 301 as well. But sincerely, if you're not testing a target that has to do with APIs, I would not advise you to look into 301s. Look for 200s, 403, and some 404s and other status codes that, gives promising information about the target. So from there, you can now retrieve those links and of course fire up your Bob suits or your Card.io to, uncover more information such as the underlying code running on that particular domain. It could be PHP, it could be XML, it could be anything. So it's always important to always look at the various status code and of course find ways to exploit information related to those status code. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a few TLS record. So, and here, this is the nmap it ran and discovered that 2 ports are open and one is 80, which is HTTP, and 4434 Hypertext Transfer Protocol secure, and both are all TCP connection ports. And there was no WAF detected. Okay, some domains would detect WAF. For example, let's try something with FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY. If you come here, let's say FIXITGEARWARE.com, and you will see that we will detect Cloudflare. Now you can see it has detected Cloudflare, right? So let's close this. No need to go further. So it's a very cool tool. Okay, and you can see our comments are different from what the documentation says here. You can see the documentation, right? It's different. So please do not miss next week Tools Friday series. As we promised, we would be outlining comprehensive comments and we'll be testing a few, not all, because we want to make the video short on next week's episode of the Tools Friday series. Then the rest of the comments, we will be pushing it into the Discord community for the Discord family. So my suggestion once again is that you join the Discord, and let's just keep it a secret of what we're planning on the Discord next year until we are fully concluded on these plans before we disclose them. Okay? So that's it on Raccoon Tool, and I hope you have learned something new. And for those who are into bug bounty program hunting or who are into security researching for vulnerabilities, it's always good to always use these tools we are demonstrating here for your own support. Okay, it's not easy to write a tool, honestly, because writing a tool comes with a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, what the tool will serve, and most importantly, time is of essence. Okay, you're trying to make money as quick as possible while ensuring that you are also learning. Okay, you cannot just spend your whole time coding or writing codes or building tools. Okay, nothing is profitable in open source except helping others. So if you need financial assistance or you want to solve your financial problems, which means you need to hunt for bugs, not all tools you should write. Okay, write simple tools that you can use, but for more complex tools that should solve problem, you should look at the ones that has been written by professionals or a large community base who are interested in helping newbies or professionals alike in the red team community. Okay? Because at the end of the day, writing a tool just for freelancing or for contributing into the open source community while you're still going through some financial challenges is not a good idea. Okay? It's not a good idea in the sense that you would be financially incapable to take care of your needs while writing tools that others would use to achieve their own goals and dreams. And that would pose a challenge on your own path whereby you need to struggle to get out of your own financial situations. Okay? So learn to build simple tools, but most importantly, learn to leverage tools written by others. By so doing, you'll be able to, meet your financial needs and of course, achieve your goals and dreams. Okay? So once again, remember, do not forget to join the Discord community, also known as our Discord family, because lots of things will be coming up. In as much as we will be ending our Tools Friday series next week Friday, but from time to time, I'll be dropping some nuggets once again in the channel to help newbies or those who are in that community to have an insight on more information regarding offensive security and the red team community alike. So with that, we have come to an end of this week's episode of Tools Friday series with FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY. So if you find this video interesting, please do not hesitate to give us a like by hitting that thumbs up button, subscribe by hitting that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to get notified when next we make another video on Tools Friday series with FIXITGEARWARE-SECURITY. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Bye for now.